We are going to do something a little bit different this week when we go in the pen to look at the babies. We've got to go in and visit the babies and see how they look. If you'll remember, we have little Whitey in the pen. Here at the house, a new pen we built for him here at the house. We got little Whitey in there and Wild Child, which we haven't let out of the pens in a while. We've kept them in there because it's really dangerous out in the woods right now. I mean, it's, you know, there's the critters, the predators are having a little tougher time finding something to eat, and they're really trying hard to work on the deer. So we're being very, very careful with that right now. But we've got a little Whitey in there. We've got Wild Child in there. We've got the Casper and Ice, the two baby bucks that Snow White had before she passed away. And we've got four other bucks in there, four other deer in there also. We've got Molly and another little doe, and then we've got another little buck. So we've got seven. We got seven, 4 bucks and 4 does. And Molly's the only one that wasn't born this year. All the rest of them are just a few months old. But I tell you what, rather than go in there and use the bags and feed them carrots and apples like Susan DeHaven made those bags for us, and that's what we do. And we'll probably do that maybe with the larger deer in the big pen. But we're going to go in there and we're going to do this, what Chris always did. You remember what Chris did with the deer? What she did every single day in the morning and the evening? She fixed them a bowl in the big fish. That's right, the big fish. This is a big bowl shaped like a fish. And listen here what I did to them. I'm going to kind of point that camera down there and just talk to you a little bit about what I've done here. I started out with this smorgasbord, and I put down in the bottom of it Cheerios. That's right, I've got Cheerios down in the bottom of it. Lots of Cheerios down there. And so I've got a lot of good stuff for them there in Cheerios. Obviously, I've got carrots. Grimm's Way Farm carrots. Grimm's Way Farm carrots. And these are some of the carrots that Aunt Lou bought the deer for Christmas. There's some of them that she bought as a Christmas present. She had actually on the bag for the deer. And I opened that present up, and this is what was in there, was Grimsley carrots. You know, Grimsley has said that, so several of you wrote Grimsley, and they said they were going to send some discount coupons, you know, and they never did. They never did. We never did get them. But anyway, we got carrots in there. I've got apples. I got quite a few apples cut up and put in there, some relatively small pieces. Little Whitey has got to where he won't hardly eat carrots. Now, if that's all I've got, he'll eat them. But I went out there yesterday and was kind of letting him and Benelli get used to each other. And, you know, she's barking at the deer, but she's not really trying to chase them or anything. But trying to and he kind of bucks his head around there and has a lot of fun with her. But he's got to where he just ate 2 or 3 carrots and then he quit. He didn't eat any more carrots. I've also got, and I'll find them here. Look at here. See what that is? That's a potato. That's right. I bought, got some potatoes, had 3 or 4 potatoes left in the sack. I cut the potatoes up, left the peelings on them, because obviously the peelings are really healthy on apples and carrots and everything else. There's a lot of vitamins and minerals in there. And so I cut some carrots up and I put in there. And then also I put 3 or 4 slices of wheat bread. Not white bread, but wheat bread. And so I've got a smorgasbord there, and we're going to go out there, and all I'm going to do is take this out there and just set it down and back off and watch and see what happens, because generally Wild Child and Little Whitey, of course I know they're special, but Wild Child and Little Whitey get most of the food. They get most of the apples, most of the carrots. I throw some out to some of the other deer, but we're going to go out there and take a look and just watch them eat a while, see what happens, see how they react. See if maybe we can back off a little bit and maybe get all 8 of them eaten out of a bowl. Wouldn't that be cute? Wouldn't that be cool? So this is kind of the way Chris likes to do it. If you remember from Milburn and Lucy and then the babies, she'd take a big bowl like this out every morning, a big bowl out every evening. Now, I haven't been doing that because they've got demand feed. They got South Fresh demand feed that they get all they want. They can eat all they want, but they like the special stuff, just like you and I like special stuff also. So let's go out there, see what happens.
Puppies are so much fun. She's been running and playing in these leaves. I turn the camera on, she quits. They're like little kids, you know, when they start to do something, want to show somebody something they're doing. It's kind of crazy. She's been running and jumping and playing in those leaves, just immersing herself in that big pile of leaves that's blown up against the fence here. Just having a blast there, having fun in the leaves. They just want to play, because she's got a problem wanting to play with her mouth, and her teeth are like razors. I've got cuts all over my hand. I've slapped her and told her no. She knows what no means, but she just can't get over They come and get at my feet. Come on over here, little Whitey. Come on over here, little Whitey. She wants to play, but she plays rough. Yeah, she plays rough. Yeah, she plays rough. He says, I'm pretty rough too. I got hooves and I'll whack him on the head. Yeah, she think you've been hitting him in the mouth. Think you've been slapping him, keep him from biting. She just almost disappears in those leaves. And she loves it. Oh, those leaves are so much fun. They make a lot of noise. She can bite them and snap them and run and jump in them. She likes little Whitey. Little Whitey says, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I've had all of this I want. Had all of this I want. Yeah. I don't know about that little black dog. I don't know about that little black dog. So much fun in those leaves. Just jump and have a great time. You bet, baby. You bet. And just carry some in my mouth. Yeah.
Here we are out in the pen, and of course Wild Child comes running up to me right off the bat. I mean, right off the bat, she comes up running to me. Now, I can't see what I'm shooting here. I'm gonna get on the other side of the camera, but I'm hoping, oh, she don't want that bread. How about some apple, baby? She's eating that carrot. How you doing, Wild Child? What you doing, baby girl, huh? What you doing? Now, I left Benelli. Did he get in here? I left Benelli outside. She's over there crying, trying to get in. And the deer are a little bit afraid of them. I didn't know what they might do. So I'm just going to set this down over here, a pretty good ways away, and see what happens. They're nervous about Benelli. We'll see what happens. They really get nervous with Benelli in a pen, I'm sure. Come on, Wild Child. Come on back here, baby. Come on. Wild Child's over there crying, carrying on. It's got them all scared. Come on back over here, babies. I might have to take Wild Child inside to make this happen, because she's crying and carrying on. Oh, she wants in here. She doesn't. Y'all can hear her crying over there. Breaks my heart to hear her crying, actually. But we've got, hopefully we'll get these deer to come over here and eat a little bit. They might not. I'm going to go out there and throw a little bit out on the ground, see what happens. Wild Child come right over here instantly. Hey guys, come on over here. Looky there. Looky there. Come on, Whitey. Come on, little Whitey. Well, I think this was a good idea, except that Benelli has sort of ruined the party, because the deer are look at their tails up in the air. That's the alarm warning. That's when they stick that tail up in the air like that. And looks like, come here, little Whitey. Come here, little Whitey. Looks like little Whitey's kind of wanting to come over. Come on, Whitey. Come on over here, baby. Oh my goodness, she's trying to figure out how to get in. That's good that she can't. It's meant for her not to be able to get in here, but it's got them all nervous, and they're all running around over there just carrying on something awful. You can see them all paying attention. They're all in alert, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. They're cautious. I might just go ahead and walk over a little closer to them, see how that works. But she's probably might run all the way around the edge of the pen. I don't know. She doesn't know too much about what's going on. So sometimes the best laid plan of men and mice get caught in a mousetrap. Oh, they're just so upset. Yeah, and she's barking and carrying on now. Poor baby. I feel sorry for everybody. I feel sorry for everybody. That's right. I'm going to carry the bowl over a little closer and see what happens. Okay, I moved off away from them a little bit. I may not be far enough away from them. I don't really know. I'm just about 10 feet from them. I'll take a look here and see what happens. They're all still concerned about Benelli up there. And I can understand that. I sure can understand that. But they're going to come up. I'd like to, I was kind of hoping, to be honest with you, kind of hoping to just maybe get them to come up there and get several of them eating out of that bowl. Just kind of see what happens. And that's little Whitey up there leading the pack, obviously, because he'd come up and eat out of my hand, no problem. You see what a big, pretty fat deer he really is. And Wild Child, she came up and ate some right off the bat out of my hand, but now she didn't want to come up anymore because concerned. Really, let me back off just a little bit more and see what might happen. Kind of hoping really to get the others up there and see if they'd eat out of the bowl a little bit. Kind of hoping to get all 8 of them, but they're still concerned and they're in high alert over there. You look at those deer over there; they're all in high alert because of Benelli over there making noise and trying to get in. And they're watching her, making sure she can't get in. I'm kind of keeping my eye on her too, because I don't want a hawk or an owl or something to come around and dive down on her. And particularly with her screaming like that, you know, they can hear that from a long way off. Benelli, it's okay. Isn't that something? We can't get any of them to come over here. There's just not any of them willing to come over here. They're staying back away. Guys, that's an awful good bowl of treats right there. I may have to go put Benelli up to make this work. I don't know. I didn't want to leave Benelli in the house. I like to carry her with me everywhere I go. When I go to the larger pens, I think I'm going to have to leave her in the house because they would, and she's not going to like that either. But you can see the deer just not willing to come over there. And she's pretty good ways up there. She's way up there at the top, and yet they're not really willing to come over here and eat. They didn't eat the Cheerios on the ground there. They ate the carrots and the apples that I threw out there, but they didn't eat the Cheerios. And they're just not wanting to come over. Well, I wonder what happens if I move it over there closer. They're kind of liking it over there, but I go over there closer. Several of them are going to want away, but at least maybe Wild Child and Little Whitey will start eating, and it might bring the rest of them over. What a great plan, Jimmy. Yeah, right. Finally, at least Whitey and Wild Child have come up there. Of course, they would come up and eat out of my hand. Hoping to get some others up there. I just hoping everybody would come in there. I'm back far enough away from them that they should be doing that. I get my camera kind of. Benelli, it's okay. It's okay, Benelli. I'll be back and get you in a minute. And the deer are still spooky, even with that big bowl of food there. None of them willing to calm down enough to come over and eat, except Wild Child. Oh, and little Whitey puts his white tail up. Another white tail in the air. They're all being very, very, very cautious. Now, I can back away, but it doesn't seem to make any difference. They're not concerned about me. They're concerned about that puppy. And I'd like to get them all over there and let them all enjoy that big bowl that I've got. Next time I try this, might try this again because it's I still think it's kind of a neat idea, even though it didn't work very well. I have a lot of ideas like that, gang, that didn't work very well. The only deer over there eating is Wild Child. She's saying, this is pretty nice, Jimmy. It's a big old bowl of food, all for me. And she's even spooky, too. She's backed off. And the only deer that's really staying totally calm is Prince Charming. Look at him. Now, he's laying up there, laid down totally calm, up against the building. The boat building, his big antlers up there. Split ear. They're not too concerned about that little puppy. But the babies here are. They're still kind of spooked, and him hollering over there is not helping any. And the bowl, where is it? Sits there. Nobody paying any attention to the bowl. What is wrong with you guys anyway, huh? We don't like that puppy up there. They don't really pay a whole lot of attention to him when he's with me outside, but he up there all by himself crying and carrying on because he wants in here with me. And I can't blame her. I keep calling him a him, you know, that's obviously a girl, but she just doesn't like it out there all by herself. I thought she might go back to the front porch and the deer would come around, but so far that hadn't happened. Little Whitey making his way up to the food. That's Molly off to the right. Little Whitey and Wild Child making their way up there. Molly's thinking a little bit about it. Molly, go ahead. Go ahead, baby. I'm going to leave it out here so it'll all get eaten up. There's no doubt about that. But, and it doesn't matter. I back a long way off, and it still doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference. I'm going to leave that bowl out here, and I'll fetch it back later. Kind of hoping that get all. I wanted to get really all 8 of them eaten out of that. That's obviously not going to happen because the others are just going to stay back there and stay as far away as they can from Benelli. And Benelli looks like a coyote, and they just have an instinct about them, not to mess with things like that. It's okay, Benelli. It's okay, baby. Now she's down here running around this end of the deal, and they're trying to get as far away from her as they possibly can. Maybe if I get a little closer to her, maybe she'll hush up. Benelli, it's okay. Benelli, it's okay, baby. It's okay, baby. It's all right. It's all right. You're fine. Okay. Now I am a pretty good distance away from those deer, and yet they're still not going to go up there and eat out of that bowl. Of course, now you got to realize that these deer, other than Wild Child and Little Whitey, they don't really know anything about a bowl, because I've thrown the stuff out there on the ground to feed them and everything, and so they really are not paying any attention to it. Now I know they can smell it, and I know that Whitey and Wild Child know about that bowl. And it's got all that good stuff in it. Jimmy, you went to all that work, cutting all that stuff up, and nothing's going to happen. So, what do you do now? You just end this thing and let her go at that, I guess. Because little Whitey, baby. Look at her, poor baby, sticking her head through the fence. Hey, baby, I'm coming back out. I'm coming back out. Poor baby. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm coming back out, baby doll. Benelli, it's okay. It's okay. She said, I want to get at your feet, Jimmy. I'm your baby. You cannot get through there. Your head gets through there, that's all. It won't be long till your head won't get through there. That's right. You're okay, Benelli. You're okay, baby. Settle down. Settle down. I'm just trying to get the deer to eat. I fed you some bologna in there a minute ago, and you were real happy. And now you can't get in there to me, and you're crying like a little baby. Said, I am a baby, Jimmy. I am a baby. Oh, I hope you don't get your neck caught in there. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm coming. Well, little Whitey went over and sniffed around on there and didn't really eat too much. He's going over to some of the stuff I thrown out on the ground. They just don't seem to care much about fish in the green fish bowl, or food in the green fish bowl. I thought Casper and Ice would come over there. Benelli is at my feet right now, and she's laying down being a really good girl. She's not paying any attention to the deer at all. And she's looking at them, but that's about it. She's happy now that she's got in here with me. And still, the deer have not paid any attention to all that work and effort. That's Wild Child, I think, right back behind. And I don't know, that might be one of the little bucks. But nobody's paying any attention to the green fish bowl. So, Jimmy, I guess no matter how long you stay out here, your plan has failed. But I promise you, here comes little Whitey coming over here. Now, don't you go talk to little Whitey. You scare everybody. You just stay right here. She's laying right in between my feet like she likes to lay. She gets there just about any time we're around. She just will simply not get too far away from him. We've got a few other deer coming around over there looking around. They're kind of like that fish bowl is scaring them. The fish bowl is scaring them. How about that? When we get them to start eating out of it, maybe the whole bunch will come over. And that's all I wanted to do, is see them all eating out of the fishbowl. I thought that might be a pretty cool deal. But look at that deer. Look at that deer. That's not wild child. That's another one of the little bucks. And she's just kind of sticking her nose out there saying, I know that's food, but I don't know about that big green fish. That big green, oh, I just can't quite get my nose in it. That's like some of them do when I try to feed some of them by hand, and they won't really eat by hand. You can see all the deer over there. Well, not all of them, but there's 5 of them. And that's another little buck to the left, up closer to me. And he's actually eating some of the stuff on the ground. That big bowl of food over there with apples and carrots and wheat bread and Cheerios and potatoes, all of that stuff in there. And yet nobody, even little Whitey's the only one over there, even wild child. And that's a little buck there in between us and there that's eating out of the, off the ground. Now he might go over there and eat off that bowl. Let's see what happens to him. This has been a little strange deal that's going on here. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Got that caught in your mouth, didn't you? She's chewing on a branch and gets it caught in her mouth and can't get it out. Got it stuck in there. Well, that buck just walked by it. Well, I'm going to leave him alone. I'm going to leave him alone. Well, little Whitey went over and sniffed around on there and didn't really eat too much. He's going over to some of the stuff I thrown out on the ground. They just don't seem to care much about fish in the green fish bowl or food in the green fish bowl. I thought Casper and Ice would come over there. Benelli is at my feet right now, and she's laying down being a really good girl. She's not paying any attention to the deer at all. And she's looking at them, but that's about it. She's happy now that she's got in here with me. And still, the deer have not paid any attention to all that work and effort. That's wild child, I think, right back behind. And I don't know, that might be one of the little bucks. But nobody's paying any attention to the green fish bowl. So, Jimmy, I guess no matter how long you stay out here, your plan has failed. But I promise you, here comes little Whitey coming over here. Now, don't you go talk to little Whitey. You scare everybody. You just stay right here. She's laying right in between my feet like she likes to lay. She gets there just about any time we're around. She just will simply not get too far away from him. We've got a few other deer coming around over there looking around. They're kind of like that fish bowl is scaring them. The fish bowl is scaring them. How about that? When we get them to start eating out of it, maybe the whole bunch will come over. And that's all I wanted to do is see them all eating out of the fish bowl. I thought that might be a pretty cool deal. But look at that deer. Look at that deer. That's not wild child. That's another one of the little bucks. And she's just kind of sticking her nose out there saying, I know that's food, but I don't know about that big green fish. That big green, oh, I just can't quite get my nose in it. That's like some of them do when I try to feed some of them by hand, and they won't really eat by hand. You can see all the deer over there. Well, not all of them, but there's 5 of them. And that's another little buck to the left, up closer to me. And he's actually eating some of the stuff on the ground. That big bowl of food over there with apples and carrots and wheat bread and Cheerios and potatoes, all of that stuff in there. And yet nobody, even little Whitey's the only one over there, even wild child. And that's a little buck there in between us and there that's eating out of the, off the ground. Now he might go over there and eat off that bowl. Let's see what happens to him. This has been a little strange deal that's going on here. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Got that caught in your mouth, didn't you? She's chewing on a branch and gets it caught in her mouth and can't get it out. Got it stuck in there. Well, that buck just walked by it. Well, I'm going to leave him alone. I'm going to leave him alone. Okay, guys and girls, I hate it when a plan doesn't come together, and it definitely didn't come together. Hang on, baby. Hang on, I'm not going to let you down right now. That's my girl. But all the deer did not want the green bowl. The green bowl scared them. And I'm going to leave it in here so they won't be scared about it. I'm going to try this again maybe next week, but or in a couple days or something. But anyway, great plan that Jimmy had to fix that great big buffet smorgasbord, 6 different kinds of food in there for them to eat. And got a couple deer down there eating it. That's about it. We see them? Where are they? I can't even see back there. It's so far back there. But we got a couple deer down there eating out of the bowl, but that's about all. But anyway, just remember, I sure do love you, and I think Benelli loves you too. Benelli, how'd you get in here anyway? Okay, all right. Guys and girls, remember, I sure do love you.